mum.
Keep talking.
Fuck your mum.
Fuck your mama.
Fuck your mum.
Go get in your room.
All the time.
Dedication. And don't forget who built his story when he was a kid. He didn't build it himself, did he? Me, his father. And he hasn't showed me enough respect to say, you know what, my dad could be right.
Is that repairable, John,
Yeah.
that relationship?
The boxing world has been left stunned after explosive scenes involving Tyson Fury and his father, John Fury. Reports claim tensions erupted after the Tyson Fury vs. Mariusz Wach press conference, with backstage drama quickly becoming the biggest talking point. According to widespread speculation,
The ultimate fucking male. The ultimate fucking male. Never fuck with this guy ever again. If you're not willing to put up, fuck. You've had plenty to say about John Fury. Where are you? Where the fuck are you? Let's get on. All right, pal? Let's get the fuck on with it.
Tyson Fury allegedly confronted his own father after John appeared to question his decisions and showed sympathy toward Mariusz Wach rather than standing firmly behind his son. Whether every detail is accurate or not, the incident has sparked a huge debate throughout the boxing community about the growing divide between one of boxing's most famous father and son partnerships.
My dad had kicked the shit out of you. Don't mess with you. And I loved him for it.
That installed the discipline in you, though, and teaches you the life skills that you need, though, right?
You say, listen, son, I'm going to tell you one time, I'm not going to waste my breath on you. You do it my way while you live here, or you're out, you're gone, and a good hide and go with it. And my dad would, he'd just give you, he'd wallop you. And I wouldn't give his fat or anything, he'd punch and kick you to bits.
Yeah.
And I loved him for it.
Boxing figures believe this isn't simply about one argument. Instead, they see it as the latest chapter in a relationship that has been under strain for some time. Public disagreements, conflicting interviews, and constant criticism have gradually transformed what was once viewed as an unbreakable family bond into one of boxing's biggest storylines. Promoter Frank Warren has been one of the strongest voices suggesting Tyson Fury has
I don't have people around me, never have and I never will, because I'm a psychopath. I can't have a million people around me because it doesn't work. I just have the same old people I've always knew, that's it. I'm not interested in making new friends, I'm not interested in what the next man's got, I'm not interested in what the next door neighbour's doing, don't care. Keep myself.
Reached a stage in life where he no longer needs anyone else's approval. Warren has repeatedly emphasized that Tyson is no longer the young fighter searching for guidance. He is a two-time heavyweight champion who has built a legendary career, earned millions, and proven himself on the biggest stages in boxing. From Warren's perspective, Tyson now has every right to make his own decisions regarding opponents, trainers, and the direction of his career. Many boxing analysts agree with that view. They believe John Fury may still see Tyson as the young son he once coached, while Tyson now sees him.
I don't want to be anything. I don't want to be his trainer. I don't want to be involved in his business. I don't want to be involved in anything. I just want him to give me enough respect and say, well, hang on, my dad may have a point there as a father, because I think more of him than his training camp, than his people around him. He's my son. But at the minute, all of a sudden, what I say don't matter. What I say is not what he wants to hear, you know, because they can get used to hearing bullshit, can't they? And that, what happens every time.
Self as an independent champion responsible for making his own choices. Trainer Dominic Ingle has attempted to defend John Fury by arguing that much of his behavior comes from genuine concern rather than bad intentions. According to Ingle, John has always been deeply protective of Tyson and has never wanted to see him hurt inside the ring. However, even Ingle admits there is a major difference between expressing concern privately and criticizing your own son in front of cameras. Across the boxing world, many experts believe public confrontations only create unnecessary pressure.
No, don't forget Tyson Fury lost two very close fights to the pound-for-pound number one. I mean, he never looked like he was a shot fighter in those fights, and I don't believe he is as well. But John's got his opinion. I'm not going to argue with him, that's for sure. And I just feel like that's, it's father-son stuff, and that's, those two should hopefully be hand in hand as the final chapter rings out on.
Instead of helping Tyson prepare mentally, they argue that repeated public criticism becomes another distraction during an already stressful training camp. Several respected commentators believe the issue isn't really about Tyson's comeback or opponent selection. Instead,
I was very, very hurt by that, and I was thinking, what's going on here? Like, how has this happened to me, God? And I realised that everything's God's plan and God's timing, and I'm just so thankful and so blessed to be in this position and on the verge.
They argue the deeper problem is that John Fury is struggling to accept that he is no longer the central decision-maker in Tyson's career. Over the past several years, Tyson Fury has surrounded himself with experienced coaches, including SugarHill Steward and Davison. Both trainers have helped shape different phases of Tyson's success and earned his trust through performances inside the ring. Many insiders...
Well, whether he can take him or not, he shouldn't be taking him, and he knows that. But when he's on his A game and he boxes, he can box. He ticks all the boxes, trust me. And he's exciting as well. And he does the right thing with this level of opposition because he's walking through them.
Believe John Fury has found it difficult watching others become Tyson's primary voices. Some analysts argue that his public criticism often appears directed less at Tyson himself and more toward the people now guiding the heavyweight champion's career. Former fighters have repeatedly pointed out that great champions eventually reach a stage where they must take ownership of their careers. Family support remains valuable, but the final decisions belong to the...
But he's saying that Tyson isn't himself anymore. And I tend to agree with John Fury. He's certainly not at his best anymore. I mean, how could he be after everything he's been through and stuff like that? So I tend to agree with that, right? But he was saying words to the effect of that the Wilder
athlete alone. One of the strongest criticisms aimed at John Fury revolves around the difference between guidance and control. Boxing observers say there is nothing wrong with disagreeing privately about training methods or fight selection. The problem begins when those disagreements become headline news. Every public interview questioning Tyson's decisions gives critics more material to analyze. Every warning or ultimatum becomes another distraction before an important fight.
Don't forget Tyson Fury lost two very close fights to the pound-for-pound number one. I mean, he never looked like he was a shot fighter in those fights, and I don't believe he is as well. But John's got his opinion. I'm not going to argue with him, that's for sure. And I just feel like that's, it's father-son stuff, and that's, those two should hopefully be hand in hand as the final chapter rings out on.
According to many boxing insiders, this type of publicity benefits nobody involved. Eddie Hearn has tried to take a balanced approach throughout the situation. Rather than attacking either side, Hearn has repeatedly suggested these kinds of disagreements should remain within the family. Behind closed doors, fathers and sons can argue, disagree, and even shout at one another. But once those disagreements become public, they create...
Punching heavyweight division changes everything. Magwadov's capable of doing that. He's a big, strong man, as you can see. Tyson's an elite boxer, but what's he got left? I don't know. Because you'll only know when you get in that ring. And then it's too late. Let's just see. Tyson's not a stupid man. He knows...
pressure that is almost impossible to ignore. Hearn believes Tyson Fury deserves complete focus during preparation for such an important stage of his career. Instead of discussing tactics, fitness, and strategy, media attention has shifted toward family conflict. Trainer Shane McGuigan has also weighed in, describing unnecessary distractions as one of the biggest dangers before any major fight. According to McGuigan, successful training camps depend upon calm environments where every member of the team shares one common goal. When outside...
Obviously, Fury's got his own fans and people that think that he is a legend and one thing and another. Well, that's all well and good, but you've got to look at his resume. It doesn't stack up. Not to the great fighters. It doesn't stack up.
Voices begin creating headlines that focus disappears. Many boxing experts believe Tyson's current camp has been built around discipline, structure, and stability. Any public disagreement naturally disrupts that balance. Former professionals have also questioned whether constant criticism can unintentionally damage a fighter's confidence. Tyson Fury has achieved virtually everything possible in heavyweight boxing. Yet hearing negative comments from your own father carries far more emotion.
Yeah, I didn't know. You know, they've always been very close, and John's always been a big part of the training team. You know, I know he's had his trainers in SugarHill and, you know, Ben Davison, but, you know, John's his dad, and you know, he's been a big part of the journey. And for some reason, I don't know why, it's not my business, but they've clearly fallen out. And you know, it's never nice to see, and definitely not
weight than criticism from fans or journalists. Several analysts argue that family support should strengthen a fighter's mindset rather than create fresh doubts before stepping into the ring. Another interesting perspective has come from respected coach Peter Fury, Tyson's uncle. Peter has consistently expressed confidence that Tyson remains capable of performing at the highest level whenever he is mentally committed. His comments have stood in sharp contrast to some of John Fury's.
And he's alluding to SugarHill, Steward, the people around him. I assume that's who John's talking about here when he says, you know, people are acting like his friends and they're acting like they got his best interest, but they don't, and he's not listening to me anymore, and he should have been doing easier fights, which, again, if Tyson's not fighting for a belt, I understand the need to fight a contender to get back to the belt, which is why I think it's kind of tough.
More pessimistic public statements. Many observers see Peter's approach as an example of encouragement rather than confrontation. Instead of questioning Tyson publicly, Peter continues emphasizing the champion's proven ability and experience. Former world champion Duke McKenzie has also...
He's alluding to SugarHill, Steward, the people around him. I assume that's who John's talking about here when he says, you know, people are acting like his friends and they're acting like they got his best interest, but they don't, and he's not listening to me anymore, and he should have been doing easier fights, which, again, if Tyson's not fighting for a belt, I understand the need to fight a contender to get back to the belt, which is why I think it's...
spoken about Tyson Fury's legacy. McKenzie believes Tyson has already secured his place among heavyweight greats, but he warns that unnecessary drama can distract from what should be remembered as one of boxing's greatest careers. Rather than discussing Tyson's achievements, fans now spend hours debating family disagreements. According to McKenzie, that's unfortunate for everyone involved. Many boxing veterans also believe John Fury still has an important role to play, but not the one he may be trying to hold on to. Instead of directing every decision, they believe his greatest contribution now could simply be supporting Tyson emotionally while allowing the coaching staff to handle boxing matters. That transition is difficult.
Emphatic victory to wet everybody's whistle, get everybody talking about him again. Ultimately, talk's cheap. You can talk up the fight all you want. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to smash him. All the things that he may or may not say before the fight, because we're used to it now. We've heard it a million times over. What everybody needs to see is the proof's got to be in the pudding. What's he got left?
For many parents whose children become elite athletes, watching someone else guide the career you helped build can be emotionally challenging. However, sports psychologists often point out that successful parent-athlete relationships eventually evolve. Control gives way to trust, and advice replaces authority. Tyson Fury himself has hinted during interviews that he now values surrounding himself with people who bring calm rather than conflict. Without directly criticizing anyone, he has spoken about protecting his mental space and focusing only on voices that help him perform at his best. Many fans interpreted those comments as an indirect message about setting healthier boundaries. Perhaps the biggest lesson from this entire situation is that even world...
Tyson, I think, used his dad to keep him involved and as a infiltrator, you know, someone that can shout and scream and cause a bit of chaos and unrest, you know. And I think, like, he doesn't need that in this fight, so he might make a U-turn.
Champions remain vulnerable when family relationships become strained. Titles, money, and fame cannot remove the emotional impact of conflict between a father and son. Several former fighters have admitted that criticism from family members often hurts far more than anything opponents or media can say. That is why so many within boxing continue urging both Tyson and John Fury to resolve their differences privately rather than publicly. The boxing world has witnessed countless rivalries between opponents, promoters, and trainers. But family disputes often leave the deepest scars because emotions run far stronger than business disagreements. Whether Tyson Fury and John Fury eventually repair their relationship remains unknown.
It was just funny listening to John because he is straightforward, and people always say to me, "Oh, he's a nutcase, he's an idiot, he's kicking off." I mean, not really. I says that's the kind of public John Fury that you see. But if you've dealt with him, you know, off camera and behind the scenes over the years, you know he's a different type of fella. But he does get emotional when he's doing interviews, and quite rightly so, because it's his son. And you know, I don't care what anybody says. When you're in the position where John Fury is, and he's kind of come through with Tyson all the way through the amateurs, everything else. No matter what anybody says, a proper father is always going to have the son's back, no matter what. And in boxing, there's so many sycophants hanging about, waiting to take advantage.
What is clear is that Tyson's attention now needs to remain fixed on the challenge ahead inside the ring rather than outside it. Most boxing professionals agree on one point: a championship training camp should be built around unity, preparation, and confidence, not public arguments. As Tyson Fury enters another defining chapter of his remarkable career, many hope the headlines will soon return to his boxing ability instead of family conflict. Because regardless of differing opinions, one fact remains undeniable: the best version of Tyson Fury has always appeared when his focus stays entirely on the fight itself, free from unnecessary distractions beyond the ropes.